So let's talk a little bit about two axiomatic systems, which is an attempted concise summary of the entirety of the content of spirituality. So what is being suggested basically is the way out of suffering, which is the shift from axiomatic system A to axiomatic system B. So now let me explain what is meant by axiomatic system. So in logic, basically you begin with a certain set of axioms, and by applying the process of deduction to these axioms, you derive true statements. So entire logical structures, entire systems of logical thought can arise from a certain set of axioms. For example, the entirety of mathematics is based in the Zermelo-Fraenkel axioms of set theory, the axiom of choice, the uh, Euclid's axioms in geometry, and Peano's axioms for the existence of natural numbers. The entirety of mathematics is the result of applying logical reasoning to these axioms. So spirituality is similar to this process. So your axioms are basically your fundamental beliefs in life, and the way you look at reality is filtered through the thoughts that arise as a consequence of applying logical reasoning to the beliefs that you hold, the axioms that you have assumed. So the basic proposal or thesis here is shift from the axiom of I referring to the body and the mind to the axiom of I referring to pure consciousness, and thereby shift from suffering to enlightenment. It's the law of cause and effect, basically, which is known as karma, the law of karma. So the fundamental cause of suffering is the misidentification of your true self, which is pure consciousness, with the body and the mind. So this is axiomatic system one, and most human beings live according to axiomatic system one and are therefore bound to suffering because, as we've discussed, axiomatic system one has as its immediate consequences fear and desire, and one is perpetually plagued by fear and desire if one lives with axiomatic system one as their logical basis for life, which is the assumption that I refers to the body and the mind only, the apparently separate body and the mind only. But you have an alternative axiom available to you, which is the axiom that I refers to pure consciousness. And from this perspective, most of the reasons for suffering are eliminated because the statements which are true from the point of view of axiomatic system 1 are not true from the point of view of axiomatic system 2, and therefore do not cause suffering. So one might ask, on what basis does one assume axiomatic system 2? The answer to that is direct experience. Axiomatic system 2 is more consistent with immediate experience than axiomatic system 1, because the idea that you're just the body and the mind is a thought, and thoughts are subject to time, so thoughts are not ever present. But axiomatic system 2, which is the assumption that I refers to pure consciousness, comes from direct experience, which clearly reveals that consciousness is ever present. So axiomatic system 2 is at a certain level more solid than axiomatic system 1, more reliable than axiomatic system 1. And so we need to experiment a little bit. We need to apply axiomatic system 2 to our life and think, feel, act, relate, and perceive according to the assumptions of axiomatic system 2, and assess the response that experience gives us if we live by those assumptions. We've been living by axiomatic system 1 throughout our lives, and we still haven't achieved the fulfillment and peace which we crave. so deeply. So it's fairly clear that axiomatic system 1 does not work perfectly. So we are not claiming that axiomatic system 2 is the truth and axiomatic system 1 is false. We're just suggesting that axiomatic system 2 be tried and the response that experience gives us be tested, and if it works to create well-being, we can stick with axiomatic system 2, which is the statement that I refers to pure consciousness. That is the core axiom of system 2. So the shift from system 1 to system 2 is what spirituality is about, basically. And since we have attachments to system 1, this process is difficult for most people. And the thesis is basically that system 1 is the cause of suffering. The axioms taken in system 1 are the cause of suffering. So go to the root of those axioms, remove these axioms, replace them with the other axiom, which is the basic axiom of system 2. Live according to that assumption for a while. See for yourself that it does not produce suffering, and thereby continue to live via system 2. So this is the process of spirituality, basically.